Thank you very much, Dennis, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure to be here, and at the outset I haven't had an opportunity of making a public statement with regards to His Worship Mayor Bob Kilger and his recovery, and I would just like to say with some city officials here, I wish him certainly a speedy recovery. I've sent him a message, and I would like to say that publicly. It's a pleasure being here today, and I'm certainly delighted to be in the company of Mark Wallow from the Economic Development and also Bob Peters. Great to have you folks here. Cornwall, as many of you know, serves as one of Eastern Ontario's most important transportation and logistics hubs. It's conveniently located 100 kilometers southeast of Ottawa, 120 kilometers west of Montreal, and 400 kilometers east of Toronto, the official home of the Ontario Provincial Legislature. Cornwall can also take pride in having two important distinctions. According to the Pembina Institute's 2007 Ontario Sustainability Report, Cornwall has one of the best air quality ratings to be found anywhere in Ontario, and Hollywood heartthrob Ryan Gosling was raised here. But jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, Cornwall benefits from an industrious, innovative local business community. And Cornwall's municipally owned, ever-growing business park is a fitting testament to the local economy's continued success. At well over 1,600 acres, Cornwall's business park is home to one of Canada's largest distribution centres, award-winning manufacturers, and prominent transportation companies. If that were not enough, the business park offers a host of attractive features, including well-paved roads, sanitary sewers, pipe water, electrical power, natural gas, high-speed telecommunication access, and easily accessible city transit. Simply put, this state-of-the-art business park sends a clear message that Cornwall is open for business. But to grow our economy in the long term, Ontario must continue to attract new businesses and industries to compete and succeed in today's highly competitive global economy. That's why we're here in Cornwall today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pleased as the MPP for the riding, and I can say that this is probably my last public announcement as the writ will be dropped soon, and we know it's right after Labor Day, but I am pleased to announce that the Ontario government is providing $1.18 million through the Eastern Ontario Development Fund to Cornwall's Business Park to complete an ambitious large-scale project. This project will result in the expansion of Industrial Park Drive, the installation of leading-edge sewer equipment, and the creation of a stormwater management pond. Upon completion, Boundary Properties will establish a distribution facility on a 121-acre site. And that's not all. The U.S. retail chain Target, as we recently heard, through an outside provider, will also construct a 1.3 million square foot distribution center in advance of its expansion into Canada, slated for early 2013. Taken as a whole, these two large-scale distribution facilities, strategically situated in Cornwall's business park, will create over 1,000 full-time jobs in diverse sectors such as construction, transportation, and the service sector. Helping reinforce Cornwall's well-earned reputation as a prominent central location logistical hub, we know that Cornwall is surrounded by a number of communities, and these 1,000 full-time jobs serve as another reminder that Ontario's economy is turning the corner right here in Cornwall. The facts speak for themselves. This past June, for example, Ontario created more jobs than the rest of Canada and the US combined. Gaining 40,000 jobs in June alone, Ontario saw its unemployment rate decline to 7.1%. Equally important, in terms of North American specific foreign investment, direct investment, or FDI, Ontario was named a top destination for FDI, that is foreign direct investment, second only to California. But with a still fragile global economy, we simply cannot afford to rest on our laurels. Government must be more attuned to the business community's ever-changing needs and concerns, because businesses create jobs and help grow our economy. And that's why the Ontario government created the Eastern Ontario Development Fund in the first place. And I can tell you it was a happy day. I have to say it was a happy day when the Premier of the province came to Cornwall in 2007 and publicly announced, we had it as certainly a campaign platform piece, but publicly announced that we would have the Eastern Ontario Development Fund supporting businesses here in Eastern Ontario and supporting communities that want to continue establishing businesses in those communities. So this Eastern Ontario Development Fund was set up in the first place to not only address Eastern Ontario's unique economic challenges, but create a stronger, more diversified regional economy, while leveraging Eastern Ontario's long history of innovation and enterprise. And we have that here. And also tapping into highly skilled, hard-working local workforce that has kept the region competitive and will continue to do so for generations to come. The Ontario government, for its part, is helping grow Eastern Ontario's economy by making it easier for businesses to focus on what they do best, that is, create jobs by cutting red tape and unnecessary regulations. With this in mind, the Ontario government is implementing the Open for Business Act, and this is an act that we, during this last session of Parliament, we were able to enact. So far, this business-friendly act has reduced the regulatory burden across the Ontario government by 15%. It's also ensured regulations come into effect twice a year on two specific dates, January 1st and July 1st, providing businesses with greater predictability and helping them plan ahead. And thirdly, creating a toll-free number to provide businesses with a single contact for government programs and services instead of the 160 different numbers that were there previously. All told, we're making things easier for business. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our government's primary goals, to promptly respond to our business community's concerns to ensure their long-term success and profitability. And by partnering with the City of Cornwall and its municipally owned business park, we're improving the local community's ability to compete and succeed in an increasingly competitive, global-focused marketplace. And before I conclude, I would just like to say that it has been absolutely my pleasure to work with the City of Cornwall. Just a couple of hours ago, I sent a message to the Mayor as he recovers, and I indicated what a pleasure during the past 8 years to work with the City, to work with the business community, to work with Mark Wallow and Bob Peters, to make sure that we have this community well positioned on the map. And not only did the Government of Ontario step forward, but it was the City of Cornwall that was always there advocating, lobbying effectively, and I advocating in the back rooms. And I certainly think that combination has created the success that we see here today. It wasn't easy. You have to knock on a lot of doors, and I can tell you, Councillor Carr, you will know that very thing happened with this one. Knocked on a lot of doors, but I can say that the Mayor, just shortly before he announced his illness, he had met with the Minister, the Honourable Sandra Pupatello, in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And through my office, we were able to get that meeting established at Niagara-on-the-Lake. There was a conference being held, and she listened, she understood, she met with me after, and was certainly very gratified and very thankful that we had a community that was pushing so hard to bring economic stability into the community. And with these two new distribution centers, logistics once again will be front and center as we see here in the city. It is developing as a logistics hub in Canada, and I'm very grateful for that. I want to thank the City of Cornwall as I head out into retirement, and as I said, with the RIP being dropped in another week and a half or so, right after Labor Day, I will not have a chance to make any more announcements, but to have this one as my final announcement is totally gratifying, because I can tell you I was a very proud MPP when I was a signatory to the letter that went to the Premier asking that we have an Eastern Ontario Development Fund as a platform piece. And when we heard that it would happen, I was certainly thankful that the Premier came to Cornwall to announce publicly that we would have this in East Ontario for communities to tap into. So to all of you who have had any part to play in this, City of Cornwall, the Economic Development Office, and I give thanks to the Office of Economic Development and Trade, that ministry in Toronto. To all, I just say thank you, merci beaucoup, for all your assistance in my regard of advocating and lobbying on behalf of the city. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Councillor Carr.